Imagine the backbone of our modern world suddenly snapping. Our most advanced defense systems, the smartphones in our pockets, even our dreams of space exploration, all rely on materials so scarce, they're called rare earths. Now picture this. The nation controlling almost all of them just slammed the door shut. China has hit the brakes on exporting these critical minerals, exposing a terrifying vulnerability right at the heart of American power. At the exact same moment, confidence in a key ally, the UK, is cratering, adding another layer of global instability. Amidst this chaos, whispers of a new trade deal emerge. But is it enough? We're diving deep into the strategic chokehold China just tightened, exploring why Trump's boast about easy-to-win trade wars might be dangerously wrong, and asking the critical question, is the U.S. walking into a trap of its own making? Stay with us. The future of global power might hinge on these tiny, indispensable minerals. The United States finds itself in a critical position regarding its supply of rare earth minerals. These exceptionally scarce materials are indispensable components in numerous high-stakes applications spanning the defense, military, space exploration, and advanced technology sectors. A stark reality is that the overwhelming majority of these minerals are extracted and refined within the borders of China. Adding pressure to this dependency, China has recently enacted export controls, leading to a temporary suspension of these vital supplies. This move underscores a significant vulnerability for American industries reliant on these unique resources. Concurrent with these geopolitical maneuvers, a significant survey released today paints a grim picture of the United Kingdom's business landscape. Confidence among UK firms has reportedly plummeted to its lowest point in 2 years. Businesses are grappling with mounting uncertainty surrounding the economic future, contributing to a widespread state of despondency. Against this backdrop of international friction and economic anxiety, reports surfaced within the past hour involving U.S. Senator J.D. Vance. Vance has indicated the possibility of securing a trade agreement between the United Kingdom and the United States, potentially offering a stabilizing factor amidst the disruption attributed to Donald Trump's tariff strategies. This confluence of events presents a complex global relations scenario. Donald Trump's initiation of a trade conflict, particularly targeting China, was accompanied by a bold statement tweeted in 2018. He asserted, "When a country, i.e. the USA, is losing many billions of dollars on trade with virtually every country it does business with, trade wars are good and easy to win." However, subsequent analysis suggests this assertion may not fully account for the complexities involved. Reports indicate that achieving victory in a trade war against China presents considerable challenges for the United States. The assumption that the exporting nation holds the primary vulnerability due to its reliance on export revenue appears to be questioned. The counter-argument presented is that the importing nation, in this case the United States, maintains a profound need for the actual products being imported from China, ranging from consumer electronics like iPhones to the strategically crucial rare earth minerals. The irreplaceability of these rare earths, coupled with China's recent export restrictions, highlights the intricate dynamics at play, challenging the notion of an easily winnable trade conflict initiated solely through tariffs. The approach towards Chinese involvement requires a significant shift towards increased skepticism and tighter restrictions. Reports indicate that the actions undertaken by a Chinese company concerning British steel were highly contentious, establishing a clear precedent that such situations must be prevented from recurring. This incident necessitates a re-evaluation of where future investments, particularly those originating from China, can be permitted. Significant concerns have surfaced regarding Chinese investment proposals in critical infrastructure, specifically citing the nuclear power sector as an area demanding scrutiny. Conversely, there exists a recognized need for Chinese technological expertise, notably within the renewable energy field. For instance, once an offshore wind farm is constructed using this technology, its physical location is fixed. It is understood that the entity investing in and building such a facility inherently desires its continued operation. This specific area might allow for a pragmatic approach. However, the overall stance must adopt a more cautious tone than previously outlined, potentially deviating from earlier policy statements. Developments surrounding British Steel suggest a fundamental issue has emerged that cannot be ignored or repeated. Further complicating the relationship are serious allegations raised by prominent critics of China, such as Ian Duncan Smith. Reports detail accusations that figures like Ed Miliband are compromising national values by engaging with China. The core of this criticism lies in claims that China extensively utilizes forced or slave labor in the production processes for renewable energy technologies. Specifically mentioned are solar panels and wind turbines. Critics assert that utilizing Chinese supply chains for these essential green energy components inevitably involves complicity with practices reliant on slave labor. This presents a profound ethical conflict, particularly for political parties and governments ostensibly committed to opposing such practices. The situation is described as deeply problematic. While official policy frameworks may include clauses about challenging objectionable actions, challenging where they must, the current geopolitical climate, marked by trade tensions and international conflicts like the one in Ukraine, appears to be influencing priorities. Observers suggest that immediate domestic interests and national security concerns may now overshadow human rights issues, such as the reported persecution of the Uyghur population. This shift potentially leads to difficult and morally compromising decisions where economic or strategic needs appear to override ethical objections to practices like slave labor. The fundamental question arises: what actions should a government committed to opposing slave labor undertake? Is it acceptable to compromise these principles in exchange for economic benefits or to advance green energy goals? While the United Kingdom possesses laws addressing modern slavery, requiring companies to demonstrate compliance within their supply chains, questions persist. The specific example of the fast fashion company Shein has drawn attention. Prior to forming the government, labor representatives reportedly expressed reservations about Shein listing on the stock market due to its controversial business practices. However, post-election, a more welcoming stance towards such a listing was observed, raising further ethical questions about the consistency and application of stated principles. So the chessboard is set. China wields its rare earth dominance like a weapon, challenging the very foundation of American technological and military might. Trump's declaration of easy trade victories rings hollow against the stark reality of dependency. We see the ripple effects hitting allies like the UK, shaking business confidence to its core. That potential US-UK trade deal, it might be a small bandage on a much larger wound. The truth is, importing nations need the goods. Perhaps even more than exporting nations need the revenue, especially when those goods are irreplaceable strategic assets. This isn't just about tariffs and trade balances. It's about leverage, vulnerability, and the raw materials that power the 21st century. What's America's next move? Can it break free from this dependency before it's too late? What do you think the long-term consequences will be? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We really want to know what you think. If this analysis gave you valuable insight, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world, and ring that notification bell. The game is far from over.